Hello and welcome to Blimey Waffle. Today we're going to be playing some Truck Racing Championship. This is a game that was on Xbox Gold recently, so I'm going to be playing on the Xbox. I've set up my wheel and pedals with it and gone through the initial license tests you have to do, about 20 license tests before you can qualify to start doing the career mode. And we've gotten into the first career race. I'm about to start the qualifying. You can see now what the truck I'm going to be driving. Let's get in and do it. So far it seems like the game is set up pretty well for wheel and pedal. I think it actually kind of feels like the truck handles a little bit better, or it's a little easier to control than it was with the controller as I was originally learning to play this game. One mechanic to be aware of, you see it popping up on the screen saying the brakes are overheating. You have to actively manage brake cooling in these trucks. So I have to keep my finger near the B button when I'm on the brakes. And hit that, you basically spray the brakes with some water to cool them down. You kind of want to keep them below 500 degrees. So when it above that, it pops up that message warning you the brakes are overheating. I had to hit it twice through that corner, but usually just like one quick little spritz of brake cooling is enough to bring it back down to a better temperature. I did it a couple times there. Kind of wish that brake overheating message would disappear as soon as the temperatures were back down below 500, but there's actually a delay in it going away, so you can't, so you just like hold the cooling button until it disappears and you're get way down below where you need to be. Which doesn't seem to be a big deal, but you do have limited water for races and stuff. That's a real tight corner. Back end got a little loose there. That's one thing I was struggling with quite a bit just playing this game with controller originally, is the back end is so light in the trucks, all the weight being up in the front, and it just wants to slide out really easily, and it's super hard to catch. And using wheel and pedal, it actually feels a little bit more manageable. I left the suggested braking line on, although I typically like to have that off in games, but driving a vehicle like this that I'm so unfamiliar with, and which requires quite long braking distances, I really wanted to keep it on just so I'd have somewhat of a chance at least. Alright, how we're gonna do 215. Wow, I qualified pole position by quite a lot. I did not think I would be qualifying that high up. I don't remember seeing any like AI difficulty settings.
Well done on making it through to the Super Pole. You're going to be placed between 1st and 10th on the grid. Continue your good form into this session and achieve a high starting position.
Alright, now jumping into the Super Pole. Don't know what that means, but if you qualify 1st through 10th in the initial qualifying, you go to a Super Pole.
One lap left.
So looks like we got other trucks out on the track at the same time, but all at like different places. And we got one lap to just go and I guess set another time. Ooh. Lost that back in a little bit there. Alright, tight corner. Alright, didn't steer quite enough. Really have to crank the wheel a lot for these tight corners. I also really want to make sure I don't cross my arms or move my, especially my right hand away, because I gotta have the finger ready for the B button to hit the brake cooling. Just like that. Alright, I think we're gonna set pretty similar time. A couple seconds slower, but the best time the AIs had before was 122. It was like 7 seconds slower than me, so I'm a little bit concerned about having the AI set on too easy of a difficulty by default.
Qualifying is over, and now it's time for the first race of the weekend. Do your best and enjoy it. Good luck.
And we're ready to start the race now. As the guy said, I'm doing the FIA European Truck Championship. There were two options. I could have chosen this or Truck World Championship, I believe it was. Something like that. But went with the European Truck Championship. Yeah, 12 laps. Now I know how long of a race we're actually in for.
This is the first lap. Try to gain a few places here.
Try to gain a few places. They're starting on the very lead. Can't gain any more positions from there. This race may not be all that interesting if I'm need to cool brakes again there. May not be all that interesting if I'm just gonna start off in the lead and hold the lead the whole time. Looking behind me, so I've already got a bit of a space between us and the next truck.
Okay, focus. Keep pushing.
Keep pushing. Thank you. Thank you for the advice. Oh, messed that one up. Whoops. We didn't lose much ground for screwing up that corner. Got lucky, could be worse. When I was playing this with controller prior to today, I had some much more catastrophic loss of control, mostly related to the losing the back end due to it having no weight on it. It just wants to slide around. But so far, using the wheel and pedal, that hasn't been too bad. Been able to catch it each time.
focus. Keep pushing.
Wow. Very helpful. Crew chief or whatever she is. Focus and keep pushing. Ooh, there's the back end getting loose on us. I think I can catch it easier because you can feel what's happening a little better. I preemptively cooled the brakes there before it started overheating. There's overheating and just...
Try to hold your position.
I think my speed wasn't too bad there, but I just didn't turn the wheel enough for that tight thing. See, I feel like I had a better handle on that corner in the qualifying and super pole than I have so far in the race. Didn't slow down enough there. Let's not hit that, dang it. I don't know what happens if I hit the penalty marker. Good.
Try to hold your position.
Thank you for telling me to try to hold my position. Very helpful. So helpful. There we go. Cooling the brakes. That's a one. The wheel just shifted on me a little bit, so I had to tighten them down a little better. Whoops.
Try to hold your position.
Alright, trying to hold my position. Thanks for the advice. I was just gonna slow down and let the next truck go by, but thankfully she told me she had a good idea to try to hold my position. That's probably good advice, you know, rather than letting everybody else drive by me.
Your lap times are improving. Keep it up.
Hey, that's actually something that's nice to know. I like to hear that. So far, all the pit crew
Try to hold your position.
chatter has been completely useless, but that one little tidbit was nice. I am actually liking this game quite a bit more with the wheel and pedal than I did with a controller. I still don't think I'm ready to turn the suggested braking line or driving line off, because I'm still heavily relying on that to know when I need to start braking. But I got a feel for the way the truck drives a lot better now. There we go. Starting to get through this corner better.
Okay, focus. Keep pushing.
And we'll have to take a look, because I'm just feel like I'm walking away from the AIs here. to see whether that's a just a setting that I've got them turned to easy mode or something.
Keep it tight in the corners. Keep your brakes cool. Remember to spray water.
Thank you. I've been remembering, but just turned my wipers on by mistake. I think that's what happened there. I think the last corner I had my hand on the wrong button. That's why she told me that. Oh, there's a penalty marker. I still don't know what happens when I hit those. Do we get a penalty? We got some oversteer there. Alright, tight corner. Really have to crank the wheel.
Keep it tight in the corners.
Keep it tight. Had a very brown trouser moment there. Very not too bad because it's kind of slow motion and everything. But pulled it back both ways. Don't know if this game simulates tire wear. For a moment there, I felt like maybe the tires were getting worn, but I don't see anything about tire
Keep it
wear.
tight in the corners.
Keep it tight in the corners again, she says. Thank you for that. Water tank half empty. We're not even on the halfway point of the race, so that is where our usage of that brake cooling is very critical.
Try to hold your position.
She told me to hold my position again. I really do have to be very... Ooh, there's a big tail happy moment. We collected it. Got a big lead to work with, so thankfully I'm not too nervous about getting some tail happy moments here. It does seem like it's getting a little bit more difficult to handle. So maybe we do have some tire wear happening.
Okay, focus. Keep pushing.
Oh, the brakes overheating again. I can't find the button. Had the wheel turned too far. That's exactly what I was afraid of with having to crank the wheel so far for these tighter corners. I just can't do it without taking my hand away from the brake cooling button.
Okay, focus.
Focus, keep pushing. Oh, way wide there. But it didn't hit any penalty markers. That's good. I don't know what's going to happen with these
You're over halfway in this race.
penalty markers. I've hit already this race. Maybe they're... If you hit so many of them, you have to do a drive-through penalty. I know drive-through penalties is a thing in the game, since that was one of the license tests you had to do. Was oh, my brakes are overheating again. Went way wide in the corner, but I hadn't had the wheel turned way too far to get to
Okay,
the
focus. Keep pushing.
to find the button for the brake cooling. have a aggressively, I don't know if aggressive is the right word for it, but a quite commanding lead, and still it just feels like there's a lot going on with just driving the truck, managing steering, the brake cooling, and not losing the back end coming out of corners and stuff. I think if I was driving wheel to wheel with the other trucks, I'd be crashed or something. I'd have lost it by now.
Keep pushing.
Alright, cooling. There, good. Oversteer. Tight corner. I had to use my other hand for the brake cooling because the wheel was fully upside down. And that's just 2/3
Just a few laps left.
of the race. We still got another 4 laps.
Okay,
Focus.
Keep pushing.
There we go. I did that corner pretty well that time. Feels good because of how many times I completely... Oh! Hit the wrong button there. Turned my windshield wipers on. Let's get those off. There we go.
Keep it tight in the corners.
Keep it tight. Whatever you say.
Try to hold your position.
I'll try. I only have like I don't even know how many second lead. I have a very commanding lead. Shouldn't be too hard to hold my position. Should I start driving defensively too, covering the inside, just in case, you know, this guy that's like 15 seconds back gets closer. Brake cooling.
Keep it tight in the corners.
Water tank almost empty. That is scary, actually. That is scary. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I've tried to be pretty careful with, I'm only like tapping the button really for the spray. I'm not spamming it. Trying to just really use it when we need it. Oh, forgot how tight that corner is. So I think it doesn't really do much damage to the brakes when they're above 500. That's when you want to start cooling them down because they're not going to perform as well, I think. Oops, went a little wide there. I didn't hit the penalty marker though, I went around it. But it did tell me to make sure the brakes do not reach 1,000. So I think that would be the point where you get irreparable damage to your brakes. I think we'll be fine with how much is left of that water tank. I didn't even hit it that time. Too far away from my hand, and they just kind of cooled down on their own anyway. Alright, let's do this corner well one of these times. That was not at the time. I got one lap.
Keep it tight in the corners.
Let's try to keep it tight in the corners this last lap.
1 lap left.
What you probably don't realize is because I was just paying attention to it a little bit now. The wheel on the screen does not turn nearly as much as I have to actually turn wheel, my physical wheel in front of me, it's like a fraction, like maybe a third as much.
Okay, focus. Keep pushing.
On the screen. Sorry. Too busy focusing.
Your brakes cool. Remember to spray water on them.
Forgot to spray water on my brakes. But it seems like the wheel on the screen is only turning like maybe a third of what I'm having to actually turn my wheel to go through the corners, because it's like I was over 180 degrees in that corner, and it was at like 45 degrees on the screen. So possibly my struggle here with turning tight enough for the corners could be related to the setup for my wheel. Maybe it's not supposed to have to require that much steering angle, if that's the right word for it. If the visual on screen is any indication of what it should be.
Try to hold your position.
Alright, I'm gonna try to hold my position here. It's all come down to this. It's a close race. I'm only probably about 30 seconds ahead.
These are the results for the race. You can see each driver's position and the points they earned from the race.
Congratulations, first place.
Over 30 seconds. I was 45 seconds ahead. So we'll go ahead and take a look at if there's like I'm getting a couple achievements now. Take a look and see if there's well, 3 achievements. See what the AI difficulty is set to. 4 achievements. I don't know if the game capture is gonna capture all these achievements. There's a 5th one now. This game is just dishing them out. 6th one. Holy cow. So 6 achievements for that race. And I found out there is a second race after that, which I fully recorded, and you'll see some of it here, but I failed to save my audio from it, so I'm gonna just do a little bit of voiceover now, and I've cut it down to just some of the more interesting clips, like running into another truck there. It started me towards the end of the pack. Some more crashing into trucks, getting penalized. I'm not sure how that time affects anything. I think it just adds on to the time at the end. So you need to, in order to win the race, you need to win by at least 10 seconds, otherwise you'll be moved down a spot. And there's me spinning out, losing control on lap 3 in the grass. I was in first place by that point. Here's some
That was a good move.
the clip where I passed back by him. There was a bit of a recovery drive there, and even mentioned that it was a good move, even though I passed fully outside the boundary of the track. Clip of me going wide on the last lap, and there's across the line in first place. So cut it down quite a bit because that was 27 minutes worth of driving. But anyway, at this point, I went and took a look in some of the settings to see if the difficulty could be turned up, because it was pretty easy to win by quite a large margin, and the races were definitely a little bit longer than I would like for my liking. So as you can see, the race length is set to 100%, so I'll be turning that down and turn the difficulty of the AI traffic up a little bit. But overall, it is a definitely enjoyable game to play, and I highly recommend using wheel and pedals with it. Anyway, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching.